just like all of us are different in every way, everyone on the spectrum is different in their own way too. You know, there's no one size fits all with anything in life.
My son's name's Grant, and he is 5 years old.
He's fun. He loves, you know, we've always said since he was born, like, it's Grant's way or the highway. And he loves trains, always has. Once he finds something that he really likes, he loves mazes to the point, like, for Christmas we got him like 8 maze books because he just loves them so much. We had a lot of friends who had kids all around the same time as us, and they were all boys, and you don't necessarily want to compare and do all that, but you do. Of course you do. That's just nature. So as they were all growing up, you know, we realized, and Grant was the youngest, so we realized, like, okay, he's 6 months now, you know, the other boys were doing this at 6 months, he's not doing that. Okay, whatever, no big deal. We really noticed, like, around 1.5 that he was not talking, he was barely pointing at things, things just seemed a tiny bit different.
In the beginning, it's pretty lightweight, you know, I mean, he has a developmental delay. You're just kind of trying to figure things out, just as if somebody has a medical issue, you know, you're learning how to help with that. And our response was just very supportive of him. You know, we wanted to make sure that we could do what we could for him to, you know, get him the help that he needed early, because it was important.
We were fortunate that when he was 2 years old, we had just this incredible pediatrician, and based off of everything, you know, he was just like, I think he should get extra services. He's not talking, he's not progressing in like certain areas, and we started everything with Child Find, and then you guys, Developmental Pathways, reached out to us, and immediately we got services at home for speech therapy, even just as far as, like, we couldn't afford to get him his diagnosis. And we reached out, and you guys helped us so much to the point that we were able to get that diagnosis. And it wasn't just about the diagnosis for us, it was everything that came with that. It wasn't a shock for us. If anything, it was a relief off of our shoulders, because one, we knew we weren't crazy. That's always nice. And we knew, just based off of talking to other people, that this was going to open so many doors for him and for us as a family. I truly think if it wasn't for that first year between 2 and 3, there's no way we'd be where we're at today. He's come so far.
I remember the first time we went camping, you know, the first thing that he started doing was just touching everything. You know, he touched the trees, and he had a handful of dirt in his mouth, you know, within a couple seconds of us getting there. And, you know, it's a very nice experience for him. So we like going camping as a family. We like traveling. Traveling's a big thing for us. And, you know, we try to focus on things that are going to be good for Grant. You know, going to a big crowd is really hard for him. There's some tools that we've learned how to use with the help of the therapists from Developmental Pathways. You know, for example, we love baseball. You know, baseball is big in our family. We love going to Rockies games, and, you know, we'll put on some headphones on Grant and, you know, kind of take some of the noise away, and you can just tell he's a different kid, you know. And if we didn't get that help originally, we may not know, you know. We wouldn't know how to act with Grant, why he was acting up so bad, and, you know, it really made a big difference with everything we did. We actually seek out sensory nights at places, and there's a lot of people who support that. And, you know, I would say, if there's any businesses watching this, definitely get some things like that. Get some events like that where, you know, it's a sensory friendly night. It's something where, you know, there's not a lot of music and a lot of distractions, because you'll see a different kid. I also think that going to school, we got him on the program where he went to school when he turned 3. I think that was the single biggest thing that helped him.
Grant inspires us in so many ways. I think he is so kind. Like, from a very young age with both our boys, we've tried to instill, like, manners and basic things. And it has really caught on with Grant, to the point where, like, if we're at a store and we're leaving a store, Grant will scan the area and see if anyone's coming up to the door so that he can run back to the door and hold it open for them.
Grant always has had a thing for police officers. He loves law enforcement, so does Dad. And we actually have a couple friends who are officers. So, I've always given a lot of support there, but he always tells me he wants to be a firefighter, he wants to be an officer. And I think, with kind of his mind, he has a very active mind. I think he'd really do a great job.
If I had to give advice, I'd say trust your gut and don't be afraid. It's hard not to be afraid, but in the long run, all you want is what's best for that little kiddo. And if that means they get extra help in this, and this area, do it. Jump in, just jump in. Like in my opinion, there's nothing to lose. Because it can only get better, and just have fun. I learned to pick my battles with the things that we struggled with. Don't overreact about all those little things. But then on the flip side, celebrate those little achievements. That's all that matters. Everyone's gonna get there at their own pace. Just let them go and hold their hand and just celebrate it.